Welcome to the 17th presentation in our series on action learning. We're very pleased that you are joining us. This presentation is about administering action learning programs. I'm Carter McNamara of Authenticity Consulting. We're providing this series to make action learning even more available and more accessible to everyone. This presentation is one in a series and they are best viewed in order, so please be sure to visit the website listed below for more information on the complete series as well as more information about our company. And so now, let's get started. This presentation assumes that you've designed and developed your program plans. Now, it's important to think about what's needed to support an ongoing action learning program. This is sometimes forgotten. People start the program and then encounter challenges that they hadn't thought about before. We've worked with hundreds of program administrators, and the quality of administration can make or break a program. So let's consider the most important activities in running a program. First, there's some things that the administrator has to know before running a program. We'll cover those. Many people would agree that evaluations and any resulting troubleshooting are the most important activities in running a program. Evaluations will tell you if the program is okay or not, and usually where to troubleshoot. An upcoming presentation focuses on guidelines for troubleshooting. We'll talk about how to support the action learning process, including its meetings, coaching, and learning. Personnel management includes supporting facilitators and members during the program. And the quality of facilities, materials, and tools is also extremely important, so we'll discuss those as well. Whether the program is a single project or multi-project program, there needs to be someone who is formally responsible for the program. That person might be called the sponsor, administrator, or program coordinator. For now, we'll refer to that person as the administrator. Here are some of the overall responsibilities of that position. Perhaps the most important responsibility is to clearly understand the purpose of the program, including whether it's single project or multi-project. The administrator might actually have been closely involved in designing the program. If not, then he or she should closely study the program plans. The administrator should understand the basics of action learning so she can better understand the context of her role and how she can remain effective in it. She should understand the key terms and practices in action learning so she can effectively communicate with others in the program. The administrator should be acquainted with key roles in the program. She should know how she can support the roles and also what she might need from them. It might be very useful if she arranges ongoing meetings with the people in the roles to share updates about the program and get their feedback. Key roles to coordinate with include the client in a single project program. The client is the person who owns the project that all members are working on. In a multi-project program, each member might be the client for his or her project, so it might be impractical for the administrator to meet each member. The administrator also should be acquainted with the action learning expert in the program. The expert might be needed to help troubleshoot programs or to respond to suggestions from other members in the program. If the administrator is not the sponsor, then the administrator should get acquainted with the person in that role, because the sponsor is the person who's ultimately responsible for the success of the program and thus plays a very important role in the program. She should also be acquainted with the facilitators. The facilitators are the eyes and ears of the program. That is, they are continually hearing from members and continually thinking about how to improve the program. Lastly, it's very useful to be acquainted with the supervisors of group members, if possible. One of the most important criteria for success in an action learning program is the ongoing support of the members from their supervisors. The administrator can remind supervisors of the importance of the program and can tell them all about the program's many benefits as well. Perhaps the most important job of the administrator is to ensure effective evaluations because they help ensure that the program remains high quality. In an upcoming presentation, we'll talk more about how to do evaluations. When administering a program, the administrator should be getting continuous, non-confidential feedback from the facilitators, perhaps in regular meetings with them. She should also be getting feedback from members. In the case of a single project program, she should also be getting feedback about the progress of the project, for example, from the client who owns the project. Evaluations also should be done at the midpoint of the program, which will quickly reveal any problems, hopefully in time to correct them. Final evaluations will show progress toward achieving overall desired results. So the administrator needs to continuously be responding to that feedback to ensure ongoing quality improvement and to do sufficient troubleshooting. She should be sure to focus on the quality of the overall program, for example, whether the program is achieving its goals, whether groups are meeting, and whether members are attending meetings or not. She should also focus especially on the quality of the action learning process, because if that's not doing well, the entire program will suffer. For example, are members' projects being addressed, and are members learning? Especially with self-facilitated programs in which members are extremely busy, some groups might not even be meeting because members are not sufficiently committed to scheduling meetings. A program might find that members have changed the process and are not actually doing action learning at all. That can happen. For example, if there's a strong personality in the group who asserts that members should have a general discussion group instead, members might agree with that personality if they struggle a bit with action learning, for example, with sharing questions, and so those members might gladly resort to discussions, which seem easier to do. One of the most powerful roles of the administrator is to keep encouraging members to collect their learnings from the process and to spread those learnings around in their organizations. That benefits the program too, especially when marketing it internally to managers or externally to recruit facilitators and members. Any learnings and other information that are shared outside the action learning groups must always remain confidential according to the ground rules and other agreements. However, programs can share general themes that emerge from members' comments about their learnings. There are personnel management activities in programs too. For example, especially in multi-project programs, there should be extra facilitators who can step in to help if other facilitators are temporarily unavailable, or some are even removed from the program. One of the best ways to ensure high-quality facilitation is to regularly meet with facilitators, even to facilitate an action learning process among them, in which each facilitator works on improving his or her skills. In those meetings, the administrator also can learn more about the nature of what group members are working on and what they're learning. Per any ground rules in the program, this information must be non-confidential. It should not reveal very private comments that are identifiable to any members. The administrator in a multi-project program might be doing marketing to continually recruit new facilitators and members and to train them. The more successful the program, the larger this responsibility becomes to effectively recruit members, yet to screen them sufficiently that they are indeed compatible to the action learning process. Action learning training can become an ongoing process as new facilitators and members are recruited into the program. After the first several meetings, members often share useful feedback about the facilities, materials, and tools. The quality of facilities such as meeting rooms and technologies for communications can be as important as good facilitation, so the administrator must continually monitor those as well. For example, do groups always have rooms in which to meet, and are they comfortable in those rooms? In meetings where members use the phone or internet to communicate, do members know how to use those technologies? Can they clearly and consistently hear each other? The administrator must respond to any issues as soon as they're noticed. One of the best ways to sustain strong participation in programs is for members to notice that the program is promptly responding to any issues that members report. Good materials and tools can substantially improve the quality of coaching in meetings, such as guidebooks about action learning, reference cards about the agenda, and sample questions to coach each other. Various tools and forms can be used for documenting goals, actions, and learning. It's common after the first few meetings that members have good suggestions to improve those materials and tools even more. The administrator should respond to any issues with these resources and ensure they remain useful as well. Thank you for viewing this presentation. We hope you will go on to the next one. You might benefit from the following resources to add even more detail to our overviews of action learning. The website Action Learning Central references an extensive amount of free resources, including about the action learning process, each of its key elements, examples of action learning programs, and tools for each aspect of action learning. There's even an action learning glossary with definitions for each of the common terms in action learning. Our company, Authenticity Consulting, also is available to answer your questions or to help you in any other way. Our firm does very successful action learning groups around the world and for a wide variety of outcomes and applications. There's also the free management library at managementhelp.org. You can find resources and tools for almost any activity in the workplace, including for many of the activities in action learning. You can find more about each of these 3 resources by going to actionlearningcentral.com/gratis and select the presentation entitled General Resources for Action Learning. Thank you.